Hey everyone, Mike Miller with the Herald Times, joined by IU basketball columnist Jeremy Price, previewing Sunday evening's Indiana Northwestern game, 6:30 p.m. up at Welsh Ryan Arena. Breaking news on Saturday, however, is James Blackman Jr. will not be available for that game, out indefinitely with a lower leg injury. The hits just keep coming for Indiana.
They do. Every time you think the deck couldn't be stacked a little further against the Hoosiers, they find a way for that to actually be the case. And for a team that's really struggled on the road so far this season, and when you look at the schedule, you thought even at full strength it was going to be difficult to find a few road wins. Now you continue to basically players dropping like flies. I mean, I guess the silver lining is you've got Juwan Morgan back a little bit, but I think clearly he's not 100% healthy either. So it's just going to make the task all the more difficult against a Northwestern team that's really playing just about as well as anybody else in the conference right now.
Absolutely are. I mean, that's a really talented team. As we said on Scoop Talk the other night, they look like an NCAA tournament team. That would be, their first NCAA tournament if they were to get in this year?
Yes.
Led by Bryant McIntosh, an in-state native Hoosier. What kind of challenges might he and guys like Vic Law and Scotty Lindsey present for this Indiana team?
Well, I think part of the thing with McIntosh is that he can be both a facilitator and actually score for himself. You know, he can do both of those things equally well depending on what's presented to him. Obviously, we've seen Indiana struggle defensively a number of times, obviously most recently at Michigan. And so the Hoosiers are going to have to do a better job defensively, not only on McIntosh, but Lindsey and Law as well, keeping those guys out of the lane, because if Northwestern has success getting into the lane from their perimeter guys, they also have the surrounding cast, supporting cast, some big guys, Pardon, Skelly, some of those guys that can finish and take advantage.
Without Blackman, that's going to be a huge hole, obviously, in Indiana's backcourt, but an opportunity for guys like Curtis Jones and Devontae Green to step in. We've seen them in spurts, obviously, having some really nice success as freshmen. What needs to happen now for them to kind of not just necessarily carve out a role, and not even replace Blackman, but give Indiana the kind of production it needs?
Yeah, and I think this isn't only about this game necessarily, but this is just a chance for those two guys in particular to sort of grow and mature in the process, because they're going to see some significant minutes on the road in this game. You know, I think we've been talking off and on about this for a while now, that we wanted to see more and more of those guys integrated into the game plan, getting more minutes. They're going to get that chance now. What they've got to do is not try to do too much. They can't force anything. They've got to let the game come to them. But by the same token, they can't just be passive and be sitting back on their heels and letting Northwestern dictate both offensively and defensively what they're doing. They've got to do the things that they do well and take advantage of their individual skills.
We'll see what happens. In the span of a week and a half, Indiana's lost two All-Big Ten caliber players. Just got a lot harder going into a tough place that obviously Indiana has not always played particularly well up there in Evanston. We'll see what happens. 6:30 Sunday evening. Catch us during the game on Twitter at Mike Miller HT, at JP Price. Chat afterwards.